Guys, how are we? Um, had to wait till the wee hours of the morning to even have a chance to do the podcast this week. Yeah, much more difficult during school holidays. Definitely couldn't do it yesterday afternoon. So, um, uh, pretty crazy week last week, and it could have been even crazier, especially with how Jared and Paddy's game. Jared and Joey's game, sorry, turned out. Um, if Matt's team had have managed to beat Robbie at the score that Robbie scored, uh, Jared would have missed the playoffs in a loss of, what was it, point freaking 1-8 or 2-8 of a point or something. So that would have been just a wild finish. And I'm glad it didn't go down that path, because to miss under those circumstances, that would have been brutal. But it just shows, like, this season in this league has been so damn close between everyone. There's been teams that have gone on runs and made it look like they could be a chance to be a dominant team in the league, but in my opinion, no one's really had a sustained run of dominance. I mean, you just got to look at basically what's the most wins of any team from this season was 18 and 10. Give me a sec. If I flip to the other screen, last season we had we had a 21 win team, 20 win team, 19. So we've got 4 teams last year above the amount of wins that anyone had this season. So, and just the points scored this season is so far behind where last year was. What do we got? Last year we had 2 teams over 6,000 points last year. No one even got to 6,000 points this year. Robbie ends up, I think, the highest scorer at 5,902 for the season. But it's just, it's been a funny season. Bring that one back. So we all know how it all panned out, but I'll go over it anyway. So Joey ends up winning the defunct division with 16 wins. That result with Jared also managed to keep him on top of the division. If he'd have lost that game, he would have fallen behind myself, and would have been the 5th seed, because Jared wouldn't have had enough points to pass him. Yeah, it would have been the 5th seed, and Jake would have won the division. As it pans out, so Joey wins the division. Jake's second at 15 and 13. Myself at 15 and 13 as well. We're all pretty close points wise, so there wasn't a great deal of difference there. What do we got then? So Davo missed trying to defend his title. He had a fair bit of he would have had to have go right last week to manage to pull that off. So, it was not really possible for him to make the playoffs last week. He would have needed a lot of stuff go right. And Kenneth actually ends up with the worst or equal worst record, but ends up on the bottom. And sorry, buddy, Looks like you've got the clown suit. Just come as freaking Santa clown or something. We got Robbie's team, who had a pretty long win streak there at one point in the season. I can't remember exactly how long it was. I think it might have been 7 to 8 games, something like that. So when you're winning your head-to-head matchups each week, definitely bodes well. It's part of the equation done. Paddy's team was pretty much up there all season. Did reel off 3 straight losses at the end of the season. But 17-11, you're in the playoffs. She's a whole new ball game now. Second highest scorer for the season too. And Jared managed to just scrape into the playoffs in the end. He's probably on a little bit of a downward turn over the last month of the season, I think. Can't remember exactly how his scores went, but I know he had some pretty low scores there in the last month or so of the season. So Matty just misses out at 13 and 15. Matt's biggest problem was the first, weeks 2 through to about 4. I think he had a few injuries and team was scoring absolute garbage points. And you can sustain maybe 1 or 2 of those. But when you got 3 weeks where I think he barely scraped in for 300 points each week and was clear bottom scorer, just puts you so far behind the 8 ball. You've really got to hit big points and many times to try and bridge the gap back to wherever I was. That was the biggest problem for him. It didn't matter pretty much anyone he come up against as far as the tiebreaker goes. He was going to lose the tiebreaker. So, that total point scored was going to be his biggest drama. That's how it all breaks, I guess. There's no secret. It takes quite a bit of luck in fantasy football. Doesn't matter how good your team is. And Spirit actually finished the season off pretty strongly. His team scored pretty well for the last couple of weeks, so they managed to dodge the clown suit by 50 points. So that huge last week managed to get him out of the clown suit. It had to be a huge last week too. So he literally had just about everyone score. So well done, mate. You dodged the clown suit. Now you can go and lose and get the top pick if you want. Or you could just go after that trophy, I guess. See if you can replicate what Jared did last season. Well, actually, no, you can't do that. That'd be Kenneth. I don't know if Kenneth's team's healthy enough to pull that off now. So, I don't really have a huge amount of time to do this morning, so I won't touch on last week's games. I kind of did while I was talking about that there. Have a bit of a chat about this week's playoffs. MFL, consider mine and Jake as the game of the week. It's probably pretty close to the mark. Just going through my lineup there before, I'm pretty dinged up on defense actually. A lot of guys questionable that I need to hope that some of those cues disappear on Sunday our time because got a couple of guys in there right now that I don't want to start, but it's what it is, isn't it? So you just got to plug and play whatever you got going around at this point. So, according to Fantasy Sharks, we're a pretty close matchup. Jake, he's got me 3-1 all time head to head. Can't remember when that loss was. If it would have been this year or when was it? Yeah, it was. Yeah, I didn't think it was week one. Yeah, it was too. Yeah, I remember that now. Yeah. God, who cares about that? Anything could happen in there. There's a lot of stuff's gone under the bridge since week one, so it should be a pretty close game, I think. Just a matter of who fires and who doesn't. I'm happy with where my team is at. My offense has been pretty damn good of late, so yeah, it's going to have to be this week. I don't love Sam Darnold against the Bears. He typically hasn't done. I don't think he did particularly well against us last time, but I can't start. Kirk Cousins isn't even an option. Oh no, he did alright against us last time, so a repeat of that, I'll be happy. Well, happy as a fantasy owner, not particularly happy as a Bears fan. Yes, should be a good game, but good luck, Jakey. Yeah, I was kind of hoping the matchups might have twisted around a little bit different for us, but it looks like it's one of us will be bowing out this week, and we'll see how it goes. All right, Jared up against Paddy. 1 point Paddy was destined to be the have the bye week this week, and just couldn't get the wins down the stretch run to pull that off. So, and Jared's been in the playoff picture for ages, but Jesus, it really really could have been disastrous that last week. His team has really struggled to score of late. So, according to Fantasy Sharks, he's got another very close matchup according to this. Slightly favouring Paddy. What do we got? 1-4 all time between you two. To the 4 wins going to Pat. What do we got? Must have been a win earlier this season. These guys have already played each other 3 times this season because of the way we do that extra week of the schedule. So whoever finishes last plays the first place team from last season that extra week, and it just keeps matching up all the way down the order. So it doesn't take into account how many times you've played a team previously. So you guys are racking up some matchups against each other 4 in one season's pretty nuts. Yeah. Could be a close game as long as Jared's team fires this week. He's gonna need to score over 400, I think. You're not gonna win this game with a 350 score or something like that. I don't think so anyway. Too hard to win these matchups like that. I said you could. I said things might go completely bad for both of you, but yeah, I think it's going to take 400 to win. All right, now for the Titanic Bowl playoffs. Yeah, look, Kenneth's team has been struggling of late, and I think it will probably continue to do so this week. It's his defense was scoring pretty well for him earlier in the season. I think it just sort of leveled out a bit as he started to, and his offense just has not really fired this season. I think he ended up with, if it wasn't the worst offense in the league, it was damn near close to it. Head to head, you guys have played. I don't know, would have been on the other thing, but played twice. win for Kenneth in the 2023 and a win for Matt in 2024. And I think this will probably be another win for Matt this week. And send him to his second straight Titanic Bowl championship game. I'm pretty confident it'll probably go down this way. And that'll lock and load Kenneth for the number one pick if it happens that way too. So the Saints and the All-Americans. According to Fantasy Sharks, they've got is at a pretty close matchup. I see. It doesn't look like Spirit's done a lineup yet. Who we got? The Saints hold 2-1 all time. Yeah, well, I know when the one loss was. So, pretty ironic that you two are meeting for the in the playoffs again this season. I certainly doubt Spirit thought at any point, wow. Certainly mid-season, he wouldn't have thought he'd be in this position. He was in a pretty good position there, especially early on anyway. So the one loss is obviously in the championship game in the Titan Bowl championship last year. That was where David beat Spirit. Spirit's won the two other matchups that have happened. Look, to me, Spirit's team still it's not that bad. It's not like there's parts of his defense that probably have struggled a bit, but he's got guys on offense, and they all blew up last week. Every single one of them scored. If you do that, so any type of repeater last week, and Dave's going to struggle to beat you, I think. But Dave's I think before last week, his team had been scoring pretty damn well for the last month. So, yeah, it should be a good pretty tight game, this one, I think. Be interesting to see if Dave can pull another playoff win over Spirit in this one. So, anyway, lads, I couldn't do a real long one today. I got too much to do. I got to get ready for work. Got to get stuff ready at work. Well, actually, that's what I wanted to touch on. Tipping, where are we? So currently, Kenneth leads the tipping. He's up by 3 points over Joey, who's then 3 points up over Jared and Matt, I think. No, sorry, Jake and Jared. So many fucking J's. Couldn't you do something else? Fuck me. Then there's Matt, Spirit, Robbie, and myself, and she's all over after that. I'm no chance anyway. So I'm probably just going to try and pick a few upsets from this point out, see if it works. Yeah, it's definitely look like Kenneth might defend his title in the tipping. I know how he works his tips out. I know how he works it out because I told him to do it this way, and maybe I should follow some of my own instructions, and I'd be in the same spot. But I don't want to give too many secrets away. Then, that was the end of season power rankings. So Robbie ended up with the best all-play record at 80-46. It just shows it's pretty close, and even in the all-play records for the most part. Yeah. Who ended up with the highest score on the season? So Providence 538.9 racked up the highest score for the season. That was probably the last time his team scored, actually. Uh, and 531.99. So it didn't have a lot of games over 500 this year. I think Pat might have had two, I think. My brain's not the strongest. I'll be the first one to admit that. Um, is that the five? No. No, he didn't. Oh, yeah, no, he didn't. He only had one. I thought we had another person get 500 this year. I don't think. Kenneth got over twice. Unless he did. Maybe it wasn't. Maybe there was only. Might have been only two over 500. Yeah, there was. Yeah, there you go. Two scores over 500 on the year. So lowest high score registered for the season was Jared's team. Actually, 452.45 was the highest score he managed this season. So, total points 4. There we go. As mentioned before, what's the potential points? Fucking hell. My team's pretty high on potential points, apparently. It just means they had a lot of options and, yeah, didn't get them right very often, apparently. And, yeah, that. Yeah. There you go. That's your bench points. Unfortunately, the bench points don't help you win many games, so it's nice to have. Nice to have some players to pick from, but for as much of a help it is, it's a hindrance as well. So, anyway, guys, like I said, don't have time for much this morning. So, best of luck to everyone this week, and Jakey, good luck, man. I think either one of us will be very disappointed when it comes to an end. I'm not tipping anything in that game. Just happy to not be playing in the Titanic Bowl playoffs, to be honest. I have very little interest in that, to be honest. It's just yeah. Best of luck to everyone, though. Thanks, guys.